We are now rolling with a nice little bonus episode of Not With That Attitude podcast tonight.
What
So,
was it?
Surprise.
yep, here with Emsie, got Aussie. Nick's on a little business situation with his family, so he ain't joining us, but I know he would have
Nick's on
enjoyed this one.
vacation.
So we got a fun one after a little discussion I had with Aussie recently and Emily. Don't you just don't you just love when people seem to have really twisted priorities on the type of people they stick with?
Yeah, it's definitely a fucking experience, especially when you're. No, I don't want to say caught in the crossfire because it's not right, but
Right,
like, why do I have to witness this bullshit
right.
and be marginally included in the bullshit?
Yep.
Marginally included. Yeah.
Kind of fucking vibe.
Ain't that the truth?
I just don't fucking get it, bro. Like, if I tell you for however much length of time it takes for you to believe me, if I tell you that the color blue is the color blue,
Right.
and then turn around one day and go, no, actually it's red. You know, like, okay, you fucking liar.
Right. Pretty much.
Why the fuck you lying?
So here's the
Why-
thing.
Oh.
You know, at this point, just gonna say it outright. You know, we had a situation where a friend of ours was moving. I'm not gonna do any names though. Just whatever. I'll just leave it open, more or less. But you know, people know. People know. A friend of ours was moving. Another friend of ours was picking them up to, they were going all the way.
Take them in.
Yeah, to take them in. So they went all the way out to said friend who was, moving. Then they gave said friend basically a GPS tracking situation on the phone to specifically know when that friend going to take them in was going to be there. And and let me tell you, said friend did not accept that offer. Yet when they got there, they kept that friend who was taking them in. We'll go A and B. A is the one who was doing the taking in. B is the one who was taken in. So friend A was stuck waiting for like nearly a day, almost 2 days.
Almost
straight.
2 days.
That is fucked up.
Right, nearly 2 days straight, just waiting for them. And that's because apparently friend B's mom wanted to spend time with her before she left. And the thing is,
Wait.
they totally could have.
But they had like months.
Right, like not only
Months
that,
to
but
plan this out.
yeah, because like first and foremost, they totally could have while friend A was on the way there.
Yeah,
Yes,
because
you
it was
is.
a couple days drive.
Yeah, basically, and friend B, because they did not take that GPS tracking situation, did not notice and didn't take the time with their mom because they didn't even take that situation, that tracking knowledge, so they could actually spend that time with their mom before then and actually be ready to go. As it was, friend B didn't even tell their mother that they were leaving, around
Right.
that time. So then, suddenly, it turns out friend B's mom was kind of getting pissed with friend A. And
Blaming friend A.
right, and here's the thing: I was involved in a heavy amount of this, as well as Emsie. So we have a lot of insight onto it, a lot of more in-depth insight. We talked to friend A for quite some time, like during their trip and everything, and we got all the updates, all that stuff. And then what is it? Friend B ended up being all that in general. Just keeping friend A waiting was very rude as it was. Complete shitty behavior, in my opinion.
Right.
So then, next thing you know, they finally get on the road. And, friend B just kind of, was very, useless during that whole trip.
Because friend B, one, can't drive.
Yep.
And two, stated that she wasn't going to stay up with friend A while friend A was driving.
Right?
Like, at all.
Right, and hell, I've been in a situation where obviously I can't drive, and I've been in the situation where I've had a friend help me, but even then, I've slept most of the first trip, but then there was another trip back where I needed to get back, and at that point, I was like up basically all the time, just talking with him and shit, and we like listened to all kinds of like podcasts and stuff, and other like bunch of
Right.
like spooky story things, and we just talked about all kinds of things on that trip, because like at least I was productive, and that's also
You
considering
gotta.
the fact I was heavily drugged with Dramamine the entire time. So like the fact that I can be drugged the fuck out of my mind on Dramamine on the sleepy meds that can put a stallion to sleep and still do better. That's kind of wow.
But what was even worse about the situation of her having to wait a day was she wasn't even allowed in the house to sleep.
Yeah,
Like,
not
That
only
is so
that,
fucked up.
yeah, she had to sleep in her van. And not only that, but apparently that van or what is it, minivan or some, it was the vehicle itself.
just BB.
Yeah, the vehicle apparently did not have properly functioning AC, so she was stuck constantly having to sleep in cycles before it got too hot for her dog at the time, who was with her.
Yep.
So not only was she dragged into that mess, but her dog was the one suffering with her for it. For basically the overall, frankly, incompetence of Friend B in that situation.
Uh-huh.
So then, after all that, they finally get to Friend A's house. And now, Friend A's house is not exactly the cleanest place. They I guess, just had really shitty roommates, went to the hospital for an extended period at one point, and the house went to shit. But anyway, then it just, it got worse and worse for when they did come back. They didn't really, honestly, they had, the tenants that made that place shitty should have just been kicked out straight up.
Yeah.
Because, like, they're in a situation now where, like, it wouldn't have changed anyway if they had kicked them out before or as, soon as those people left. But anyway.
Yeah.
So, Friend B was completely aware of the dire straits situation this house was in. And still had the audacity to ask to be taken to a hotel somewhere. After all that driving that Friend A did for Friend B.
To a hotel.
Yep.
Yes. To a hotel.
Like,
Called her mother.
Yeah, called her
mother
and had her rent a
for
hotel.
hotel funds.
Yeah. Yep. And
and
that's
then
part of why we got so peeved with Friend B that night.
I didn't even know that part.
Yeah, that's that's kind of what set it off. Because because that's the thing. Like, initially I was like, like I joked, at first I was like, hotel, eh? It's like, and there was a little bitterness behind it because I'm like, she's been rude as hell the whole time, very inconsiderate to Friend A.
Part of the deal was that Friend B was supposed to come down and help with getting the room that she was staying in
that she was supposed to stay in.
Like, up to stuff to live in, essentially, like, full time.
Yep.
Like, she was supposed to help work on it, she was supposed to stay in there and be productive. And as soon as they get there, she goes in and she goes, I need to stay in a hotel.
Right.
I am not staying here. After knowing the situation she was walking into, after putting Friend A through all of this, like, stress of having to get her car, having to make sure that she had gas money, having to make sure that she could make it up there and back, because you have to do maintenance on a car before you drive hundreds of miles back and forth. And getting her car ready to have a bunch of animals in it, not just her dog, but her friend.
Like, powerhouse it to get the funds to even get that checked out on time.
Right.
And keep in mind, Friend B the whole time was like, I really need you to come get me on this day. And, like, she was a day late, and thankfully that wasn't a complaint, but, like, everything else was, and it was just kind of, like, really annoying.
And Friend B was supposed to give a list of, like, things that were going in Friend A's car. Yeah. That never happened.
Yeah, there's only, like, a moderate list of just, like, the handful of animals-ish. Big-ish. Because, they at least... It's like, I think it was, like, not until, like, the very end they knew exactly the amount of cats that were supposed to be coming.
Yeah.
And how many fucking cats went?
I think it was 4.
Say more than 2, and I saw...
Yep.
Anyway.
And, like, some of those cats don't even get along with each other.
No, they don't. But there was a lot of little things. A lot of little things that just led up to this big blowout.
Yep.
And it was unnecessary, in my opinion, coming to terms like, hey, you're being rude and you're being disrespectful, and this is a problem. Like, I don't think you're understanding just how shitty you're being, and that is not okay. That's not okay as a person, that is not okay as a friend. Like,
right?
what are you doing?
Right, and, so friend B, and then eventually, I was like, made a little, like, quick, like, remark, cheeky remark of, like, so, a hotel, eh? And then they were like, they just came at me full on with, shut the fuck up, and shit like that, and I'm like, alright, listen, buddy. And I absolutely went off on them in the sense of, like, I just told them all the things that I thought was really shitty of them after how they completely disrespected friend A.
Yeah.
And then,
and like,
it turned into this whole thing throughout a lot of the server, and stuff
Yeah.
that we're in with this friend group. To be fair, it's like, yeah, it's kind of shitty, but also it's one of those things where, like, honestly, I'm not even, like, gonna say I was in the wrong for standing up for said friend in that situation, even in public like that. Or, quote unquote
No.
public.
Baffled that it went the way that it did in terms of the fallout.
Yeah, right.
Like, if I was getting dogged on left, right, and center, and my friends decided to be like, actually, I'm not gonna let that slide in front of me and go feral on the person that's dogging on me left, right, and center. I'm not gonna turn around and be like, you're mean.
Right,
Oh,
like,
bitch.
that's basic fucking human decency right there, to just be like, oh shit, thanks for helping me out, it's like, hell. So then that kind of goes further into it of like a thing where, so after this whole ordeal, and also some other person inserted themselves because they're very much a white knight kind of person.
yeah.
Yeah, they were a friend of friend B. And they like to just come in and basically, play the hero kind of thing, only for people they very clearly favor, despite constantly claiming they are not biased.
They're also younger and don't understand the whole situation.
And the thing is, they always get so tilted about when you call it out as being a behavior common of younger people, but at that point, they get angry for the complete wrong reason. They don't get angry at themselves for when they realize, hey, you know what? Maybe I am young and I do need to be more, open to hearing things out. Instead, they get mad at the people who say that.
Right.
Because apparently it triggers them. It's like, well, at that point, that's your own fault on your lack of self-management as a person. And it shows there's a lack of overall growth as a person in general because of that.
And on the one hand, I get it. When you're young, you don't want to hear that it's a thing because you're young. But on the other hand, it's like, I wish you would just shut up and listen to me, because I'm not saying it because I want to downplay it. I'm just telling you because this is what it is.
Right. And
but anyway,
it wouldn't even be a problem if they actually were to come back later and be like, I realized I was kind of, wrong there, and I could have done that better or something, or, like they could come back and be like, I wasn't as open as I probably should have been. That would have been fine. But the thing is, they stand their ground and they refuse to budge.
Right. They don't listen to.
Yep. They don't want to listen at all. And that's where it's kind of like the no-go there in that situation.
I think that frustrates me the most because I am confrontational, but I am not.
You at least can go back and admit when you might have gone wrong in a situation.
Not even just that, but in this situation,
yep.
I am not a dogged person. Like, I don't go and beat on somebody.
Yep.
That's not the type of, that's not how I do things typically. I tend to state my point, and then I am trying to get you to understand where I'm coming from.
Yep.
And when I told them, hey, we have more information than you. If you want more information, please, by all means, go ask.
Right.
And they just were no.
They were very much they tried to pull their usual trick of being true neutral, quote unquote, when in reality it was just a case of they had a complete lack of information on the situation that we had, and as such had every right to be upset over.
Right.
The way
they just wanted to see
treated friend A and all of that.
They just wanted to see one side, and that was the only side that mattered.
Yep.
Even though they wanted to say they were neutral.
Their friend's side.
Yeah.
Again, that ties into the whole bias thing that they have. That I'm gonna be like, they have definitely held on to that for the longest time. So.
Yeah. But this also ties in to further down the line.
Right. Because then what happened from there is I later found out through a different connection that friend A, after all that, apparently had more of an issue with me, standing up for her, basically. Well, not actually the standing up for her, but there's like, I guess she was talking to a different person I know of a connection, and she was telling the said person about apparently some issues that they've had about me instead, versus, the whole situation of what it actually was. And
Are
here's the
they
thing.
incapable of talking that out with you?
Exactly.
Apparently not.
Because, here's the thing. Yes, I've definitely been pretty harsh on them sometimes in certain situations where, frankly, they don't try to listen to me. They just try to, pull this thing of, because a behavior they have sometimes with me is they very much are, they'll think one thing about me and just roll with it. In the sense that, for example, we one time had a thing where, so I was, talking about computer specs and stuff. It was just, a small thing, where we were discussing Ark Survival Ascended and how, so initially at first, before this little situation I'm going to explain went down, we were discussing how a lot of people with, really top end, and I mean top end, 4090 Ti, graphics cards and, 32 gigs RAM and all that jazz, top of the line i9 processors, etc., were having issues with the game at the time, running the game in general. And her and I had discussed that plenty, a lot, enough that they realistically friend A should have fully acknowledged that, yes, I understand where they're coming from, and I fully acknowledge that, all that info. Now, then, now back to the present situation, where it was what is it? Oh yeah, so it was something we're talking about the game and friend B, because I know we were trying to consider getting friend B the game at some point, at least they were. So instead, what happened is we discussed it, and I was I said something about how whether it ran or not, and then they started going into the whole, what I said is for the most part, Friend B's graphics and everything is up to date enough that they should be able to run it for the most part. But then they quickly interjected with, but actually, and, went over the whole, top end, top end computers not being able to run it, though. Which you already knew. Yeah, exactly. So I quickly, was yeah, but, basically she tried to keep, saying all that after I remind her that, yes, I know that too, though. That is a factor. But because she wouldn't listen, eventually I just got to the point where I just completely overtook the conversation by force, by absolute, social force. And frankly, yeah, I don't feel bad about that at all because, let's be real, if she had
almost mansplaining.
Yeah. See, here's the thing though, too. If she didn't want to be mansplained on, then she should have honestly acknowledged the fact that I already acknowledged the point she was making. And that if she's not going to listen, at that point, that ain't even mansplaining. That's just being, frankly, a low-key toxic person. What?
No, I was saying that she was mansplaining
you. Oh, yeah, you know what? Valid. That kind of makes sense. But, sorry. Yeah, right? Yeah, okay, yeah, so... But, yeah,
it's mansplaining.
Right, yeah. But, so that's what I'm just all right, listen, I've already gone over this with you, and, and I very firmly expressed all that, and I did not give her a chance to speak, and I don't feel bad about it whatsoever when I look back on that situation, because I realize how toxic that was of her to come at me like that, despite the fact that she fully knew we've talked about that pretty in-depth prior. Not even months ago where it could have been easily forgotten. I mean, literally a day or two ago at best. And this was all while, friend A has bad insomnia like me, even worse than me even. But even so, she doesn't have the same level of memory loss, that some do. So I know for a fact she would have remembered that entire talk and that we have talked about that, and she would have fully known that I explicitly also agreed with all that. So that's why I kind of just took over that conversation. She got real salty about that and just went dead silent, okay, well, fine then. It's all that stuff, Basically, it was a situation of someone who knows they were not in the right to talk like they did, and then when they got, reprimanded for it, they get upset more with the person who reprimanded them than themselves for having a reason to be reprimanded. Because...
So fucking standard.
Yep. So...
Which is normal, but also you need to go back later and be I reacted poorly.
Right. So here's the thing, too. And I think that's part of, part of what they mean with their issues with me. However, when that all happened, like back to now to the present situation, we have the issue of, well, the problem is they have known me long enough and seen my behavior enough with other people in the server to know I'm very much open to working with people when it's actually viable to work with them. So why didn't they just come to me about it then if they actually had issues that were that serious in that situation?
Right. Like, why not have a conversation? Like,
right. Because to me, if you bring up something where there's an issue to someone behind my back, then apparently it's not that much of an issue if you haven't addressed it with me yet. Especially when you know I'm open to talking to you about it. Just in the general sense. I mean,
right.
Yeah.
The common you.
Yeah.
The royal
common
you.
Yeah. The average you, but.
Yeah, but also, like, leans into the mic, you.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah, right? You.
I would just fucking expect in an adult friend group that everybody, like, if I have a fucking problem with something, we can talk about it. Even me and Tick have, like, fucking gone at each other once.
Right,
It's fine. Like, we got over it, like, 2 hours later.
Yeah, right, and then we were back to, like, fucking saying stupid shit together. Like...
Yeah, like, we stopped, like, near enough instantly when Emsie was typing just to pick on her together. Like...
Right? Yeah, because, like, Aussie and I are fucking autistic as hell, and we still do better.
Yeah, like, we'll clash sometimes.
Because you
It's fine,
are-
it
Yeah,
happens.
No, there's some things we don't
part of
necessarily
that is
always...
because
Yeah, go ahead.
I think part of that is because you all are autistic, that you can understand the thought process better.
Oh, I think
I
it's very
sometimes-
conveniently that we are able to understand our thought process better, because, like, you have two types of, like, autistic, like, duos, basically. There's the ones who
Oh, yeah.
understand each other well, even with a conflict, and then there's the others that, like, they absolutely will hate each other because they cannot come to terms or understand one another, even if they're saying
It's
the
almost
exact same
like
thing.
me and Tick put in the work.
Right, basically.
Yeah.
Like, we grew up.
Right.
Right, like, here's the thing, too. Like, it's not like Aussie and I agree on, like, everything, but we at least still have been
No.
able to talk shit out, and, like, on things that we haven't, we've just cut it off, we're like, yeah, fair.
Yeah. I think it's to a point where we can't, like, come to an agreement. It's just like, should we stop talking about it? Yeah, okay, let's talk about something else.
Basically, we just
Like-
so then we just move on. We're like, fuck it. We may
I'm not
not
gonna
agree,
destroy a
but
fucking friendship over some bullshit.
exactly.
A fucking Discord argument.
Right.
And I feel like I've only been around this type of autistic.
Yeah.
So this is what I know.
I'm telling
All
you
of that
now, as an
I'm gonna
autistic,
know.
the other type are fucking infuriating.
Yeah.
Like,
oh,
no,
no,
she's like,
that's
hey, let
true.
it go, super
No.
straight. Like,
Why
get down
can't
to
you fucking
business.
let it
This
go?
is what
'Cause I
it
don't
is.
want to. Shut the fuck up. No, I don't want to. I don't fucking care.
Right, like you'll have the autistics who are like the fucking donkey in Family Guy. No, yeehaw.
Like, fucking exactly.
Yeah, I only know
yeah.
your all's kind.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't have a frame of reference for a different kind.
I mean, like, I'll send you the clip later of, like, the donkey on, like, Family Guy, and that's literally the other kind of autistic, and that's all you need to know.
Okay. All right.
No, they didn't really.
Good to know.
Like,
Except
they're
they don't
passionate
yeehaw,
about
you know.
things.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm not necessarily neurotypical. I'm neurospicy, but different.
Right, you got the ADHD, but...
You're
know,
neuro-seasoned.
Yeah.
Neuroseasoned.
Yeah.
I got the ADHD, which is like autism light, which is fun. I do find it really funny that that's what it's referred to in some.
Right. I mean, basically,
some circles.
'cause, like, a lot of
Yeah,
the
I mean,
stuff
like-
overlaps, honestly, sometimes. Or
I live in
It
a
really
household
does.
where I have autism, my partner has ADHD. It is like looking in a fucking mirror sometimes.
Right? Like, there's some, like, crazy similarities, and then there's other things that you definitely realize are, like, the separating point.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like the hyper focus is definitely a thing that's shared
Right?
because you go real deep into things that you are really interested in.
Right.
But
So,
whereas you all just keep getting interested, we just lose focus. Anyway,
yeah, so
um,
speaking of focus, yeah, back on the thing, so we were at the part where, oh yeah, so anyway, so when it came to the point where I heard that, she was more venting about her problems with me than the complete rudeness that friend B was exhibiting toward her. That's where
that
I'm like,
part though.
at first I was like, I kind of get that, and like, to be fair, keep in mind, I get when a situation like that arises, if you're not really someone who wants to be part of that, it can be stressful. However, she also, friend A knows full well for this friend group that if something really bad comes up and it needs to stop and they want to discontinue it, they can say so, and they can be like, explain, hey, I'm getting really uncomfortable about this. Could we maybe, either stop this right now and address it in a different manner, or, just anything like that. Just basically say to stop somehow. They know they can do that, yet they did not do that at any point. So instead decide to go to someone else entirely and complain about me versus the one who was actually being rude to them. It's like, imagine, someone who has spent a lot of time trying to help you, with,
Right.
getting back on your feet. Because that's a big thing, too, is a lot of us here have spent a lot of time helping friend A get back on their feet with a lot of issues that they've been having, trying to help kind of, resituate them and get them all set up to succeed. Friend B has not at any point been any part of that or helped at all, and still does not help with that either.
No.
And yet we're the problem. So I'm like, I don't see the logic in that whatsoever.
Yeah, no, I don't understand where the focus lies. Like, I get on the one hand, friend B is physically there, which is different than us.
Right. Like, I get why it's, it's one of those things where just you want to avoid, an issue with someone you're basically stuck with now, because it's not like friend B can just drive away and go back home either,
Right.
But at the same time,
But on the-
you should be adult enough to address it. Oh, and go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, you're good. But like you said, at the same time, you should be able and willing to
Right.
talk and have a discussion like, hey, I don't like the way you treated me. That was shitty.
Yeah, no,
'Cause,
that's the
like,
big thing. It's
if
like
you're-
you never once went over that with friend B.
If you're going to live with someone, you need to have those conversations.
Yeah, you need to be
'Cause
ready
those
to
are
have
important.
uncomfortable conversations.
You
I
have
mean,
to,
it's like
otherwise it'll just fall apart.
Right. And they haven't had any situations like that arise where they've been able to properly adult-like have a comfortable conversation for I know of.
Well, I mean, I figured that was going to be the fucking case, given the state of, like, the house after the last roommates were there. Because,
Right.
I don't know about you guys, but you don't even have to hint at destroying my house like that. The way I would fucking ruin you.
Right.
It's not even about kicking you out, bro. I'm taking you down with me. Like, you can fuck up my house, I will fuck you up.
Right. Shit, dude.
It's so fucking... The whole thing has, like, just been straight disrespect from start to finish.
Right.
And we're not even anywhere near the finish, so, like...
Right.
I just meant to sit here and watch and say nothing,
Right.
and and every time y'all want to post, like, oh, I have no money for this and I have no money for that, but oh my god, did you guys see the guinea pigs in the store today?
Yeah, right. Or like the fact
Oh
they
my god,
they
these
keep getting
games.
stuff, and like part of what started this entire conversation and decision to go into this little bonus episode here was the fact that recently said friend A, who has like 3K of expenses that they need to focus on for their house, for I think it's the septic and one of their vehicles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
3K.
Do they have more than one? I thought they just had the one vehicle.
Well, I know they have the large one, but I thought the other one, I don't know if they trashed that or not actually, but anyway, it might have just been their large, their current vehicle.
Didn't that
You
mom
know,
take it?
Oh yeah, true. So it's probably their current vehicle then, that means. So, but again, 3K in total, like combined, of the septic and the vehicle issues. Yet they choose to buy a game that would rack up over 50 for her and friend B. And now, while you could obviously say, oh, well, that's such a small expense. Yeah, but that's the thing. It's a small expense that you could have still put toward that debt. It wouldn't have done a lot, but it would have still done something. And the problem is when you mix up your priorities like that, then it just kind of makes the point fall flat, and like it's kind of just like ever since the whole finding out, they basically like redirected their problems onto me rather than the actual problem. It's kind of killed my drive to want to keep supporting them as a person overall. And it's one of those situations where eventually, I'll be frank, when things inevitably crash and burn for them, I'm gonna be that asshole who's just like, well, who would have figured, like, who would have saw this coming?
Didn't see that.
Yeah, right.
Who could have predicted this? Not
Right.
me.
Right. It's
I
like-
would never.
And friend B, mind you, has no fucking job, yet they're still, and like not only that, but and yeah, like their mom, I know, recently sent them money for just for their
Wasn't it
for
Christmas or something?
Yeah, Christmas money.
Yeah, for Christmas.
So now here's the thing, friend B got themselves a nice fancy wallet and some stuff, and like a present for friend A. Now, I think that's a nice gesture for friend A, obviously get them a little gift, but at the same time, I feel like they should have just given as much of that money as possible, except for what they need for their own animals, to friend A to work on the cost of covering things for the house, instead of frankly irresponsibly spending it on things. Especially because like the store they got their new wallet from, and whatnot, is a really expensive store.
Yeah,
Store.
those things, those shit,
Crazy expensive.
those are not cheap.
Yeah, what's that store called again? I need to Google this real fast.
Lounge Fly.
Okay, Lounge Fly. Okay.
I'm not even gonna fucking do it.
Okay, shop. Let's see. Where's bags and wallets? Here we go. Wallets.
They're not cheap.
Yeah, fucking hell. $40 to $50 average per wallet.
Yeah.
It's like
not.
I have a fucking cheapo like $10 wallet, that I've been using for like how many years now. It's like I'm not gonna buy a $40, $50 wallet when I need to focus on spending my money on my animals that I need to care for. And
I ain't gonna lie to you, I don't even have a wallet. My shit just floats around in my pocket.
you know what? Fair.
What are you gonna do, mug me?
Just shove it all in there, like, cause like, come on, dude,
I don't carry a purse. I just carry a wallet.
Right.
But my wallet I got 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I carry an attitude, so it's fine.
I
don't need anything
it's
else.
like I don't get why you're spending that kind of money. And it's like, again, I know it was Christmas money, but you should spend on actual priorities. Focus it on fixing up that room that you've supposed to be helping on the whole time anyway. Not only that, but keep in mind, during this whole move, friend B did not save a penny. They kept spending money irresponsibly on all kinds of stupid shit.
Bro, we tried for fucking ages to be like, are you saving? Are you saving? Are you saving?
Yeah,
and then
so
had the
many
fucking
months in
audacity
advance.
to act like they were surprised when it cost money to fucking move out of a house.
Right?
They didn't even have enough for the gas.
Yeah,
technically.
by the time they got out of there, friend A's gas had been absolutely drained from having to constantly keep on the move to get the AC running in the vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
So she
to keep-
didn't. So she didn't sleep for like 2 days.
Yeah, almost.
No, but that's normal.
She got to like moderately nap at certain intervals, but it was still like hot enough, in that season where it was hot enough where like she couldn't really stay asleep for longer than like an hour or two at best, unless she wanted a dead dog, So she had to keep that vehicle constantly moving to get the AC flowing, to keep her and the dog like actually alive and not overheating in the Nevada heat, or Nevada, whatever, friend B likes to have it. But anyway.
Imagine keeping a disabled person trapped in their car for 2 days.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
A disabled person and a dog.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then, like, literally, by the time, I think they were only, like, halfway or a quarter way home, or, to the location of where friend A lived, and they had to reach out to friend B's mom to get money for gas.
Yeah, because they hadn't sent enough
Yep.
for gas.
Well, I hadn't
It's
saved
just-
enough.
Oh, that
like,
too.
Yeah, because like they actually used all the money that friend B had left over from already not saving, and only just like saving that last final paycheck for gas.
Well, of
Or
course,
shit.
it didn't help that they stopped and spent a shit ton on exotic jerky.
Yeah, on exotic jerky instead of just buying something more basic yet still filling. There's so many options they could have taken other than that like exotic fancy jerky that probably costs like $70.
$12. $12 a bag.
Yeah, right. And they got what like four or
Four or
five bags of
five.
it? Yeah, so that's
Yeah.
that's easily $50 out of money that could have gone toward gas, toward that absolute guzzler of a gas drinking beast. That friend
Oh,
A
yeah.
has.
The whole situation was just a mess.
Yeah, it was a really messy situation overall.
And it continues to be a messy situation
Yep. Like
because they don't really
Yeah.
communicate.
Yeah, they constantly just post random things about oh look at this fun life we're living that that involves spending an unbelievable amount of money that could have gone toward doing something active toward the house and whatnot.
Any of our bills, just any
Yep.
of them.
Yeah, fuck the bills. We're gonna spend it all on fun stuff.
And then they
Irresponsible.
complain about the job market, but also say that the job market is not that bad
Right?
in the same breath.
Yeah, because it's constantly a case where I know friend A has mentioned so many times you can live off $10 an hour here, part time. It's that's great, but I mean that doesn't help when friend B is apparently trying to go for like more than that all the time and not just like settling down with a gas station or something that's paying $10 an hour, if not 12, in the first place. And it's like,
But also,
like friend
they
B
don't
is
pay
in,
enough.
yeah, friend B's in no place to be choosy with their jobs, but is being choosy with
No.
their jobs.
Oh yeah. It's like, just, I get it. You don't want to work at a shitty job. Nobody wants to work at a shitty job.
Yeah, but
But what
in
you
the
do
situation
is
they're
you
in, they have no choice.
right. That's what I was gonna say. Like, but when you're at that point where you don't have your own money, you get a shitty job and
Right.
you work the shitty job until you can find something that's less shitty.
Especially when they just got more animals,
Oh my god! Don't even get me started on the more animals because that already pisses me off. I'm so annoyed. Because why would you do that when you can't even feed the animals that you have?
Yeah, because like that friend A lost two dogs in the span of a literal month, like actually a month apart.
Which is really depressing and sad, and we feel bad about that.
And now one of their their last remaining dog, who was part of that.
Sounded so fake. I'm so sorry.
the last remaining
I'm
dog,
frustrated.
the last remaining dog of theirs that's like part of this old group of dogs that were all old, and he's old too. He needs
He's real old.
Yeah, he actually needs not just a optional thing, but he needs a proper food that would allow him to properly maintain his weight and condition. And she couldn't even afford it before friend B came down. Yet now friend A is like, keeping him on like just this subpar food, and stuff.
And he's still losing weight.
Yeah, and he's just like constantly degrading to the point where like, it's like even if he's moderately comfy, it's to the point where he really needs to be put down for his own good.
Like, just
And
for his own
she's refusing
health,
to do it.
happiness.
Yep.
Euthanizing is not the worst thing you can do to an animal. I will say that until the day that I die.
Right, keeping them alive in
No.
a situation like this where they're not getting the right, medical care, like quite literally medical care at this point, because that diet is a vet, prescribed diet that they need to be eating. Then yeah, no, that's actually just basically cruelty.
Bro, it just fucked me. Like, I just keep looking at all this shit, and I'm like, none of you even fucking trying. Like, I've been in, like, not the exact same situation, obviously, because nobody can be in the exact same situation.
Right. And
But I've been in situations where I'm making, like,
yeah,
like, I was, like, at one point making £900 a month and having to pay, like, £700 rent.
Mhm.
And then having £100 to last me the rest of the month, and yet still somehow my dog has never been skinny. He's never missed a vet appointment. I was eating shit noodles and I wasn't buying games and I was wearing clothes until they basically fell off my fucking body.
Right. You were actually managing your money and like doing, making it stretch as best you could.
Survival is survival, like, so you just have to do what you have to do sometimes.
Right. Instead,
There's nothing bad about it.
Right. It's like
It can be embarrassing, sure, but
right. It's like yeah, it sucks to it's kind of embarrassing like that, but like you got to do what you got to do, especially if it's for your animals.
and I swear to God, if somebody had sent me or done the same as, like, if somebody had supported me financially and bought me things the way that we have done for these people,
Yup.
I would have been in a much better situation much faster.
Yeah. Right.
I can't lie,
And-
now you've, like, put that phone thing on my radar, it's pissed me off.
Yeah. Right.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, it
Yeah.
reminded me about that.
Yeah, because like
And I was
initially-
like,
yeah, and keep in mind, yeah, it happened when they were kind of like, we were doing a good thing for the while, and we had it going for a bit, and and initially, like friend A was doing well, because what we were doing is we were trying to help her get out of her rut by supporting her however we could by, doing advertising. We were supporting her on streams, trying to help financially with certain things, when we could, all that stuff. And for a bit, they were doing well. They were improving. They were actually getting like things like commission requests and stuff, and actually getting those commissions out for a bit, for the smallest time. But then it all just seemed to go downhill once friend B came into the picture. Like once that move was like fully in plan, then it just all started going downhill, and it's been going downhill ever since.
yeah, like everything has just come to a screeching halt. And it's like, why? Where? where was the go? We're supposed to put the gas back on.
Right?
Like, I got you this tool for this thing so that you can actually do the shit that you're supposed to be doing or that you
Right.
wanted to do.
Exactly.
And
I feel like I've been throwing money into a black hole without realizing.
Right, you know?
Because if
Yeah.
you're not using it to feed your dying dog, and if you're not using it to fix
Right.
your house, and if you're not using it to eat, what the fuck are you doing with it?
Right, like, where's it all going in the end of the day? Because, like,
that's my thing.
Again, I
Like,
know
where's the money going?
right, because, like, even, you know, it's obviously, you know, not a lot in the grand scheme, but it's enough to still put some level of improvement on certain things that could be paid off. No doubt about that.
And, like, I get it. Groceries are expensive.
Right?
Gas is expensive.
Right.
Even in the area where they live, where it's cheaper than
Yeah.
where I live.
Yeah.
But it still racks up.
Yep.
But at the same time, you talk about working so hard on doing all these things.
Right, but yet, here's the thing. All that work should be paying off right now and showing some level of results, even if it's just the tiniest little thing, and it's not. So
Right, and it's
I'm
not.
convinced they're just lying through their teeth now.
Well, everything comes up with like a reason why XYZ thing isn't working.
Yeah, and it's reached a point where like some of them are legit, where it's just honestly shit luck, and I get that, but a lot of it now is really just a point of your own negligence is what's producing these issues now, and you need to step up and actually take responsibility over them instead of just being like, oh well, I'm gonna go spend all this money on a game instead of something productive.
It's really disheartening.
Yeah.
It's really disheartening.
Yeah, like the overall theme of this whole thing is when you spend a lot of time supporting certain people and they do well for a while and then suddenly just shit goes south and it's like they basically turn on you. Then that's when it's like, now I'm just kind of getting annoyed with you. And it's like to the point where it's like I don't want anything to do with you, if at all, or just like only the bare minimum.
Fucking annoying, especially when like I get it. I know what they're doing. It's just a kind of like, oh, everything sucks, but I'm comfortable because everything sucks. And I know exactly how it sucks, and like it's shit, and it's always
Right.
gonna be shit, and I can't do anything about it. So I'm just gonna leave it and da.
Mhm.
And then you're like, hey, why don't you try fix it with A, B, C, and D?
Right.
But the idea of changing things makes them even more uncomfortable
Right.
than
Yeah.
the bullshit that they live with every day. So it's
Right.
like, I get it. Don't get me wrong. Like I've been there, but at the same time, are you
ostracing.
gonna? You're like, yeah, like, are you gonna fucking survive with your rats in the walls, piss all over the floor?
Right. Because like
The only food you have in the cupboard is made out of like, skin cells at this point.
Right, because, like, listen, like, you would think that now, when their first dog, second dog, I think it was, died, all of a sudden, like, out of the blue, it was one of the dogs, fuck it. But anyway, when one of the dogs died initially, like, it was literally in its crate, like, doing just fine earlier, and then suddenly they came out to the dog
Passed
dead,
on.
and there were rats literally swarming and eating half its face off already.
Fucked up.
Yeah, like an actual army of rats eating the dog actively in its own crate after it died.
It was like only dead for like a minute as well.
Yeah, something like that.
Like, she left the room.
Yeah, she barely left that room for all of like 10, 20 minutes at most.
If you
They
have that
came
many
back-
fucking, and how many cats do they fucking have? But they still have all these rats.
Yeah, right? Well,
At this point,
to be
spell all your
fair-
cats and get Jack Russell.
Yeah, right? Like, Fred B's cats are useless.
All the fucking cats are useless, bro.
Right? I know, like, one of them's like a fairly good hunter, but, like, they don't, like, I know they keep that cat in the room at all times because some little bitch there is, like, allergic to him. It's like, whatever, just, if you want to deal with the rat problem, send out the ratter. But,
Oh yeah, one of the roommates
Yeah.
is
What do you mean,
allergic.
one of- There's more.
Huh?
There's
Oh,
there's
right,
friend B, and then there's two others.
Yeah, there's two other
Two?
agents. Yeah. Actually, possibly three if that one who's temporarily there for the drug addiction recovery situation.
Oh yeah. I thought that was another two.
Yep.
You know what? Right,
Oh, well, so apparently one of them actually left at some point, because I think they
Oh,
just,
okay.
like, yeah, some kind of shit went down, but I didn't really care about that at that point, so
That's
I
fair.
didn't even ask her anything, and, like, I mean, usually
That's
they tell
fair.
me anyway, but I don't really care anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, so anyway, I think, I don't know if that other one, though, the second one from that, like, little drug recovery
Yeah.
group is still there or
Ollie,
not, but,
stop it.
So
yeah,
there's either 3 or 2 others besides friend B.
Yeah.
And well, none of them have any money.
So I think only one of
Only
them
one of them actively
actually
works.
working right now. And he usually pays more than his rent, that they agreed upon because of the fact that the house is like in such a shit situation.
I feel so
the
sorry
other
for
one.
Cyber every time someone talks about him.
The other one was paying, and then all of a sudden was having issues getting money.
Yeah,
and then was gonna go get a job.
Yep.
And
Apparently
then was
they
gonna
were
get a
going to get a
job.
gas station job, but I don't know what happened to the fuck with that,
But then he got depressed and decided that he wasn't gonna do anything.
Yeah, right.
From last I heard.
Something
about his family. I believe there was something about his family in there that was like causing him to get really upset.
Yeah.
And then
like
that was the last thing I heard, because I
Yeah.
haven't had any updates since then.
Yep.
But yeah, only the one works, and that's the one that can't leave.
Yep. So they say.
So they say.
See, again, at this point, I'm convinced it's just purely friend A's moral obligation to them, and it's more they need him than he needs them.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of codependency.
Yep.
Which is why she is very excited about friend B being there.
Yep.
Because it's...
They're all gonna fucking die in there.
Yeah, right.
I just don't understand what they think is gonna fucking happen. Like, you can only go on like this for so long before either you get evicted, you die to disease, or someone like sets your fucking house on fire because it's, basically just Tinder at this point.
Yeah, right.
I'm just waiting for the house to be foreclosed on and then torn down.
Right.
I mean, it's gonna be like, then what? Because you've left it so fucking long now that you can't fix it.
Yep.
All the little things that built up over time that maybe weren't a problem in the beginning are now very much a fucking problem, but you've left it. You haven't done anything.
Right.
We tried supporting you. We tried giving you the ladder to, fucking safety.
Yep.
And
instead,
you take my money.
You turn away from that ladder and go to a completely unhealthy, pointless, other source of, like, quote-unquote comfort.
Do we want to say that they kicked it or that they burned it?
They did both. They like started burning it and then they like fucking snapped it in half when part of the ladder was weak, but because it was reduced to like ash.
Yeah, they like started falling down and kicked every rung out on the way down.
Yeah, right.
That works. I was just trying to decide which one we wanted to go with.
Yeah, right. So anyway,
because that's about where I'm at.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be that way, but that's just where...
Right. It's one of those things where, like, I don't want to be, like, like, be cynical like this and, like, think bad of them, but it's hard not to when you've basically been... When we've just been constantly getting kicked in the teeth over this.
This point, when it's all I'm seeing, like, what am I meant to do?
Right.
It feels like we've been pushed into this corner to be like... the pattern just keeps repeating, and... like Nick likes to tease me about all the time, what's the definition of insanity?
Right.
So, I suppose I just need to let it go.
Basically, it's one of those things where it's like, I'm still gonna obviously like, at this point, I'm through being the good guy. I'm gonna fucking talk about it with y'all behind their backs. Like, fuck it. If they're not gonna give me enough respect to come discuss things with me, they're an actual problem supposedly, and want to talk shit behind my back, basically, then I'm gonna do right the fuck same to them. I don't care about being the better person anymore. I'm gonna be that person who, like, I get info, and I'm like, fuck it. Let's go to my people who actually get me. Let's go to the people who are actually fucking mature enough to discuss things with me when they have a problem. Who actually, understand, the people who have seen me, and how I act, and actually discuss things with me because they know I act that way, and, like, I'm willing to discuss things.
Yeah, at least willing to try.
Yeah, right?
What if I just euthanize them?
Only ever that easy sometimes.
At this point, I could have paid to euthanize the fucking dog.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, but then you'd have to find a way to, like, get it there.
Yeah, right. You'd have to find a way to convince her to get it there.
I'm just like, bro, like... I hate watching people be so allergic to change. It pisses me off. Especially when, like, change is the thing that they desperately need.
Right? Like, at this point, like, I just really think they should rehome a large chunk of those cats. and then they need to.
All the cats, all the dogs, all the rats. Why have you got baby rats in a household where you have shitloads of fucking wild rats? You don't need pet rats in a household where there's wild rats.
Exactly, and I'm told.
Being edited out.
Oh, that shit was gonna come out.
You can edit.
Yep. Anyway, so I told friend B. I fucking told them that having domestic rats isn't going to repel them. It's going to literally attract them because they understand there's a healthy colony currently living in a single area. Which, with wild rats, when they recognize that, that's not a deterrent. That's not a case of, oh, territory. This is my time to go to that area where there is very clearly plenty enough that those rats are comfortable living and staying there. They obviously don't know that the domestic cat rats are in a cage, obviously, so... But
right,
as far as they're concerned, that's a very condensed colony area, and to them, that means breeding, food, and other opportunities for safe territory, if those other rats are apparently there and staying there. So it's like
those food bins aren't covered as well.
Yeah, right.
Weren't they supposedly covered at one point, and they were like the rats still got into it?
Well, apparently these rats are unkillable and can fucking eat through concrete. So at this point,
right, I'm like eating Tide Pods, and they've done the Tide Pod challenge better than millennial kids these days.
They did the cinnamon challenge in one.
Yeah, right. They did the cinnamon challenge with cocaine in one.
They took a deep breath right afterwards.
Right.
Instead of panicking, they just like, oh,
damn, they were really
great.
And no, to be fair, yeah, that's the one thing I'll give credit. Some fucking, the things rats can do eventually and grow immune to is fucking insane. So that's one of the things where I'll at least give friend A credit on that. I honestly believe those rats are fucking super rats at this point. But
I did in the beginning, but now I'm like, y'all are fucking lazy. I reckon you put one singular manual bait trap out and that's it.
Yeah, right. Apparently they layered the whole room that friend B was supposed to go into with glue traps, and I guess they occasionally caught one, but eventually those rats wisened up to them. So it's like, now what? Just
imagine she walked in, just gets stuck.
Just ends up walking out with glue trap flip flops on.
Yeah, oh my god. That would be her. Oh, do you remember when I fucking forgot that I had a glue trap under my counter? And I was
no! Or just turned to dust.
Yeah. Because I thought I got them all, and then I was cleaning underneath the cabinets or whatever. And I leaned down and I was like, what? Who has dropped a book down here? Because they're thick.
Yep.
These are fucking thick traps. So I was like, who's dropped a fucking book down here? And then I looked a little bit closer and I was like, oh! Anyway, at one point I think my kitchen tried to have mice, and then I caught it, and then it expired and turned to dust. I picked it up and it disintegrated with the movement of me lifting it up.
Jeez.
That was fucked up too. I so badly wanted to show Camille, but I think he would have just thrown up on me.
Yeah, right. Just puked right in your face, so if it gets in your mouth, it's like.
Just breaks up with me then and there. He's like, "Don't ever talk to me again."
Yeah, right.
Leave my house.
Get out of here, you fucking psycho.
Get out of here, you bitch.
Dog stays.
Yeah, no, we actually spoke about that, right? I was like, because I wouldn't have anywhere to go, and he's like, well, I wouldn't kick you out. If it was an amicable thing, it's fine. I was like, as long as I can leave Harley here, and he kind of side-eyed me. And I was like, what? He was like, I'm not sure I'd let you take him.
Yeah. Oh. Damn.
That's my dog, bro.
Damn, bro.
That's my baby son.
Battle for that dog.
For real, this is why I'm not having kids.
Oh shit, man.
You would argue.
Away with the dog. Shit fucked me off, bro. At the time, I was like, "Oh, that's so kind." And I think 4 or 5 days later, I was like, "Wait a minute,
hey, this motherfucker would have taken my dog."
Yeah, I was like, "Hang a minute."
Hold your stallions.
Fucking relax yourself, bro. Getting too brave. Big for your boots.
Yeah, right. You gotta put him in
I
his place.
pissed.
Now.
I was like, wait.
You gotta put him in his place now. Show him
yeah,
who's dominant.
Beat his ass at some point.
Yeah, right. Gotta jump him out of the kitchen somewhere.
Amazing.
And just leopard jump him out of nowhere.
I'm gonna wait till he asks me for a cup of tea and then say no.
And then say no.
That's how you really assert your dominance in the UK.
He's obsessed with tea right now. Makes me laugh so much. I'll be walking through and yesterday he was I heard him wake up and he goes, I can't get out of bed. And I was like, why? And he was like, I can't until I've had a cup of tea. And I was like, what? So you're 4 years younger than me. Grow up.
Oh man.
Acting like a 53-year-old.
That's funny. Oh shit.
Anyway, I want you guys to know that every day that I see, I got this and I got that and we did this and we did that and I had
Right.
this takeout and I had this takeout, or like, we both went for a fucking DoorDash drive. Every time I see that, it takes a
Yep.
unlimited and supernatural amount of power to
Yeah.
keep my mouth shut.
For real though, like
It
every
pains me.
time
I
I
just wanna
see
go off sometimes.
something that they're doing, yeah, no, honestly, like at this point, hell, even
The picture
Nick,
today.
right, even Nick has mentioned they like he was about to go off one time on that like side friend, when they were like talking big and shit, and I was like,
Oh,
"Dude,
yeah.
I would not have stopped you." Hell, I mean, fuck, fucking Rory was about to as well, and like. She was about to before she realized that maybe it's just best to not like fucking entertain side friend. And I'm like,
You
you know
know
what?
it's bad
Fair.
when Nick nearly does it though.
Yeah, right.
That's how you
When
know it's a
Nick
fucking
is
problem.
about to go off, that's when you know.
Right, because he is very much the one who like he obviously like has his friends and like wants to see them succeed, but he's not the sort to typically come into like a really intense defense for people as often as like me or someone else.
Like, he gets heated, but he doesn't get heated in the moment. He gets heated, like, later.
Yeah, like
Right.
4 or 5 days later, he'll be like, that was stupid, and we're like, we've already finished that conversation, bro.
Right, like he'll sometimes like do it in the moment, but like it's just one of those things where like he tries to control himself because like someone's already handling
Yeah.
it anyway. Like he's used to me
Right.
being the one to like handle, like I go in with just like the firm like
Guns
listen,
blazing.
motherfucker. Yeah,
Take his the guns blazing, let's go.
yeah, I'm the cold and calculated one. I don't even go in angry. I just go in like knowing exactly what I'm gonna say and that I'm not gonna be sad. I'm not gonna be feel bad about what I say. Kind of thing.
It's gonna fucking, for me, it would end up being like that one time that fucking Sammy said something stupid in the vent channel to me, and I was like, shut the fuck up, bro!
Right? Then-
Oh, we know that one.
Oh,
Fucking
the
fucking
time
Rory being like, whoa, chill, and I was like, no, fuck you.
the time fucking side friend came in too to try and do that, talk.
Yeah, and I was like,
Megan.
bitch, be quiet.
So, like, listen, at this point, if anyone fucking, if anyone fucking causes an issue like that again, I've reached the point where like I'm just gonna like go to Rory and be like, listen, just let them do the thing, just don't even.
Just let it go for a little bit.
Like, cause,
Let it go for a little bit.
Because like what's bad
Log
when
off.
even Rory agrees to that, like of like, yeah, honestly, I don't think I would let stop at that time, and like fair. Ugh.
It was like, that's what really killed me though, is that like, I was being told like, relax, you're in public, stop it, but then in DMs it was like, bitch, I swear to God, if that was in VC, I'd be going nuts. And I'm like, yeah, I know! I was going feral, bro, I was so mad. It was a real struggle to walk away from the fucking, I was walking Harley when I did that too. And I kept like looking down and then looking up, and he was like halfway across the field. And, like at one point, I was like, "Get your ass back here!" Because I was mad at the fucking Discord, and he wasn't listening. He ran his ass back.
Oh my god!
It's like, I'm coming. Please don't hate me. What's wrong? Why are we so angry? And I'm trying to explain to a dog that it's
Yeah,
bitch
right.
on the internet, so it's stupid.
Right.
It pissed me off.
But it's shit like that where it's like we definitely have reached a point where I think we're all losing patience, or most of us anyway, are losing patience with friend A and B and their like antics, and the fact they dig their own hole and they don't make an effort to patch up the situations they're in.
Not even just patience, bro. Like, I'm just getting fucking sick and tired of the whole. If you don't talk to them like you're coddling them, they don't listen. And even then, like, they'll listen, but they won't fucking take any of the advice that you give them, which
Right.
fucking makes me want to die.
Right, and like the even
Every
more
time.
annoying part is friend A is constantly talking about how mature and open they are as a person. It's like, well, you're really showing otherwise right now.
Mm-hmm.
You are giving me no reason to believe you in the idea that you're apparently an open and willing person to discuss things, and that you're as neutral as you say you are. Because they've very clearly been incredibly biased toward friend B lately.
You got, like, let's be real, you got one fucking One of them's a pussy that actually hates confrontation, pretends that she does like it, doesn't, hates it, doesn't want to do it, especially in the confines of her own home. And then you have the other one that was raised like a fucking queen of an empire for some reason. She actually has the personality of a fucking sheet of cardboard. But like,
and never. You would think all the shit she's been through prior to that would humble her as a person, and no, it hasn't.
I can't lie. Every now and then she like gives me a bit of lore, and I have to like turn around and look at her like, and this is how you act.
Right?
A bit of lore.
Like, bro, the way I've had to live 2 weeks straight in the dead of fucking winter, like negatives, weather. In the trunk of a friend's car in his garage because I had nowhere else to go for a while, and I still didn't come out like friend B did. I got
sorry,
fucking humbled.
This is a new backstory unlock for me. What?
Oh yeah. I was homeless for a while, so anyway, I lived with my buddies. I lived in his garage for like 2 weeks or so. It was a thing where like we covered it up by just saying I was like staying over at a hotel somewhere and just kind of we hung out, at his house during the day. Then at night I would just sleep in the garage in the back of his car.
Sneak into the garage at night.
Yeah. So what we did is
My God.
Oh well, to be fair, it was kind of easy because his mom was like in bedridden with cancer. So.
Oh my God!
You could have slept at the foot of her bed and she wouldn't have noticed it. What's wrong?
That's the thing. Eventually, it got to the point where like she was like too weak to really go up the stairs or anything. So we just kind of like squeezed me upstairs, into his into a spare room they had upstairs. And I slept in there for like another 2 weeks or so before everything went back to situation. So, but holy
That is
shit.
so fucking funny.
I cannot. I don't understand this life.
Yeah, so anyway, it's like, with all that, like, I have been in a low place, obviously, and I know what it's like to be in a low place, but I also let it humble me as a person, and even before then, I was still relatively humbled as a whole, because I've seen the kind of shit that people have been through and stuff, and I was like, wow, that sucks, I hope I never end up in that place, so I want to try and, at least be reasonable enough as a person to understand their struggles and be open to that, But then, suddenly friend B out here has not necessarily been homeless like that, However, they have been evicted and stuff, and were, for the longest time, and that's why they moved in the first place. For the longest time, they were living with a friend of theirs and their family. And, keep in mind, this was like fucking rent-free. So they got to spend all their fucking money on themselves and paying off over $800 boarding for their one dog.
Which is
that
ridiculous.
still pissed me off, and the fact that it got scammed in 0.1. Oh my god.
Right. And it's like, oh my god, it's like, the worst part is like, I hate to say it, but like, I'm glad the dog's now in a situation where like he can be with her. Not that the house he's in is really a good place, to be frank. But I'm at least glad he's back with her to a degree. But I think she should have rehomed him way earlier on. And her excuse was like, I spent so much money on him already. It's like, you're spending even more money on him that you don't need to spend.
Right. I don't understand why she has a higher energy dog when she's one of the laziest people I've ever heard of in my entire life.
Yeah, right?
And he's young too, like he's a bouncy little dickhead.
Right? I think he's only just coming up on 2 years or something like that. Like, he turned a year like a handful a while back or something, but he's not an older dog by any means.
And she always complains about dogs.
Yeah, right.
So you're like, why do you have a dog if all you do is complain about dogs? Man.
Some of the shit that she said about dogs in that workplace that she used to work in as well, like, I'd be messaging Tick, like, are you fucking, like...
Yeah, right?
What is this don't fuck with cats vibe? Like, what do you mean? Oh yeah, we just, like, leave them in their caked shit because they shit themselves, and it pissed me off, the human that has an emotional attachment to animals shitting themselves when they don't get walked properly.
Right? Like, I've had Sam, like, take a dookie inside because he, was having his little cold issue for a while. Thankfully, he's way over that now. He'll just go out and get his business done quick before he comes back in. But, for a while, like, there's the one time where he, like, pooped in his kennel, and I'm like, oh, shit, this is a thing. So I immediately let him out, and just cleaned it up, and then I brought him outside real fast to make sure. But, like, it's like, that's the thing. It's like, I didn't leave him fucking caked in his own shit because he don't know what the fuck he done.
Right. Like, they gotta learn.
Yeah, he just, it's like he just knew he like really had to go, and he just like was in his kennel because he didn't want to go outside. So it's like all he could do. And they're like, well, I didn't. It's not like I fucking beat his ass or anything. I'm just like, all right, come on, let's go out, So I just like let him out, cleaned up, ignored him while I did that, and just let him out and just hung out with him for a bit.
Honestly, sometimes it happens, and sometimes it really pisses you off that it happens, and it's perfectly fine to, like, when Harley was younger, he had diarrhea when I left the house for about 45 minutes, and it pissed me off. But, like, he was in his crate, and it just, somehow it exploded all over the living room despite him being in his crate. I swear to God, that shit was 5 foot up the wall. So, like, the first spray must have just hit the wall. That shit was insane.
Oh, God.
But I actually ended up throwing away that crate and just buying another one, because every time I, like, thought I cleaned it properly, I'd, like, turn around and there's just, like, a speck of shit.
Yeah, another smear.
So I was like, no, let me just throw this away. But, like, when he did that, he was so excited to see me, and he's, like, wagging his tail and it's spraying everywhere, and I was just looking at him like, it's perfectly fine for things like that to happen and for you to walk away for 5 minutes.
Right.
Calm down and come back and deal with it.
Right,
You have an animal that has the brain of, like, a fucking 3-year-old child.
Right,
it doesn't shit on purpose to piss you off. They don't do that.
Right.
So that's funny, because that's exactly what they do.
I mean, a cat might. Cats are spiteful little bastards, and I have 3 of them, so, like, I'm within my right to say this. for all the cat people out there.
But, like, the walking away when you're upset.
Right.
They tell you to do that when you have a baby.
Right.
Like, legitimately, if you are too upset to handle the situation, walk away for a bit and then come back when you are calm enough to handle it.
Right. And it's like, the funny thing is, like, obviously animals are not people, so don't ever treat them like they are human. But there's so many things that overlap between raising a child and raising a dog, cat, or even just like even a fucking rabbit or something, that it's really a situation where, like, it's surprising how many things can genuinely overlap between the two.
Right.
But, the big thing too is also,
because they're still living things.
Yeah, just really make sure you have that separation between animal and human, or dog and human, cat and human.
Right, but I just thought that was really funny because you said, like, I need to take a few minutes before I come and handle this. Because I was like, that's what they tell you when you can't handle a baby crying for that long. Like, they tell you to walk away, put them somewhere safe, and then walk away for a little bit, and then come back when you can handle it.
Actually, the same thing. There's no point in engaging with a situation if the response that you're going to have is overcharged by emotion instead of logic.
Yep.
Right.
Because if I'd have gone in, like, I probably wouldn't have fucking slapped him upside the head for having diarrhea, but I probably would have shouted at him, which would have scared the shit out of him. So there's no point in me doing that.
Yeah,
it's
not
not
like he'd
beneficial
know.
for either of us.
Yeah, he wouldn't really know what the fuck to do with that, So it's like,
I say to people all the time, they're like, oh, I came home and my dog's, like, torn stuff up, but he's excited to see me. I'm like, yeah, because he tore it up 4 hours ago.
right, It's like,
if you didn't catch him doing it, there's no point telling him off for it.
Right.
You're just showing him paper and going, what's that? And he'd be like, I don't fucking know.
Yeah, right. I don't fucking know why you're screaming at me.
Didn't taste good though.
Yeah, right. Right. It's like dogs are very in the moment animals, so it's like you really shouldn't expect them to reflect on their behavior like a human can. Even then, it's like you're asking a 3-year-old to do that, and 3-year-olds don't have that capacity yet. Anyway.
Yeah, no, the memory is not there yet.
Right.
Oh, I can't wait until my niece or nephew turns 3 and I unleash it upon, like, a play park or something.
Oh my god.
I'm gonna give it a tiny little shift.
Oh my God. It's like catch 'em in the moment, basically. It's like I've done that with Sam. Like, oh my God, I have the fucking like shot collar I have for Ember. Because like fucking hunting dog. If she wants to go somewhere, like go play in traffic. Sometimes if she really wants to go play in traffic, I gotta give her a little bump, or else she ain't coming back, or else she's gonna get flattened. So it's one of those things where like it's for her safety overall, especially because she's such an independent dog. Because hounds. But anyway, so, I've had to use it for Sam sometimes. Like, fucking one time, I don't know where they found it. There was an old pot pie, carton thing that, like, dogs obviously should not be eating that. It's like, because it has that, like, lining of, like, like, I don't know what, like, foil or some shit.
Yeah.
So, I had the collar on him because, like, I know sometimes he gets into things. And I just had him in the house for a while, just, like, out of his crate for once to test that. But I have a pet cam as well. So I caught him eating that shit, and I bumped him so hard. And like, because like I was like, the nice thing is my thing has a 1 mile range. So when I saw that shit, the way I just held that down for all of 3 seconds, I'm like, nope, no eating that.
I think Harley had like, Me and Camille were talking about it the other day, and Harley's had like 2 moments in his life where I've come down on him like a ton of bricks, and he's never done the thing that made me do it ever again.
Right.
Just like one time when he wasn't that tall, but he was
Okay.
getting big.
Yeah.
He was putting some muscle on, and he was starting to work out like, oh, I've got quite a bit of weight behind, the things that I do.
Oh, yep.
But it was also around the time that he's intact, so he started, getting sexually mature or whatever.
Right.
I'm like, I think I was like fucking doing housework or something, and I was like standing at the kitchen counter cleaning, and he just kind of
Yeah.
he walked up and he started like being a fucking brat. So I was like turn around, like if you whip him with a kitchen towel, he thinks it's funny.
Yep.
So I was whipping him with a kitchen towel, and he ran off. So I turned around and I was like, well, he's done. So I turned around and he ran back in, but because he was over aroused by the playing,
Yep.
he then jumped up and tried to hump me.
Oh God.
I'm like, he's a strong dog, bro. I mean, you know what really creeped me out is like I felt his individual toes grip.
Oh,
Like the way that I turned around on him is like, every video of like a dog that's slightly smaller than the other dog, and then the
Yep.
big dog comes down directly on top of it. Like I did that to him. Like I smashed him straight into the floor. I shouted at him.
Oh,
He
shit.
yelped, and then he ran away, and then he came back, but doing that whole like
Yeah,
squinty
little-
eye, lip licking ears back, like
Yeah,
please
the
love
little
me, please
appeasement
love me,
stuff,
please
yeah.
love me. And I was standing there staring at him like, I don't love you anymore. You're like a fucking teenager. Piss me off.
You're a little
hump me.
teenage dirtbag.
Yeah, but then because I have a dog and I know dogs, and he's come back giving me appeasement behaviors after
Right.
taking a correction instead of being a dick about it. Then I have to be
Right.
like, it's okay, we're still fine. And in my head, I'm like, you're nasty.
Yeah, right. Even though you just tried to violate me.
Yeah, and then, like fucking the second time was one time he fucking, oh man. He was running in like a direct straight line across the field, right? And I was like, oh well, that's great. Hope you enjoy yourself. And then just all of a sudden, he just took a hard right.
Yep.
So he's like running directly into like a main road, and there's cars coming in either direction. I was looking at him like, are you
no.
being serious? Like, I'm not faster than a dog. But I started running.
Oh, shit.
You know those sticks that you use to launch tennis balls with?
Oh, yep.
Yes.
So anyway, yeah, I dashed the tennis ball at the back of his head.
Yeah, just like lobbed it right at him.
Yeah, but it's not like, because he's a bull breed, it's not like a
Ah.
tennis ball. It's one of those like solid, spongy,
Yeah.
basically a brick.
So he just-
Amazing.
It hit him square in the fucking like right behind one ear, so his whole head turned when it hit him, and then he like fell over. Flipped around like, what the fuck was that? I'm just there like, not me. Wasn't me.
No, not me.
I would never do that to you.
Yeah, right. Oh, yeah.
Never fucking run in a road again though. Every time like I went outside holding one of those stick things as well. I think he knew it was me because every time he went out of one, he was always like turning around, like side eyeing you, like.
Yeah, he just like conveniently figured it out.
Yeah, I mean there was also an unfortunate time where I went to throw it, and for some reason the ball didn't come out until
Oh yeah.
the cup part was pointed directly at his
Oh,
face.
yeah. So you just smoked him.
Yeah, like because he started like leaning back to like run, so he didn't even open his mouth to try and get it. It just smashed him between the eyes.
Amazing.
Oh my
Yeah, but the great
goodness.
thing about bull breeds is that you could probably I could probably hit him with a car and he'd still think it's funny.
Yeah, right.
He comes back wagging his tail. Like when I say I was whipping him with the kitchen towel, I mean like I'm actually like catching him in the legs with it, and he thinks it's great.
Alright.
Spins in
It's a
circles,
game.
fights the towels and shit.
Like that's always the nice thing about them is like bull breeds is like the fact they're just so forgiving.
I literally. The amount of stupid shit I do to him. He was barking the other day, right on the edge of the
Okay.
bed. Right? And I was half asleep, but I thought I was in the middle of the bed, and I
Yeah.
thought he was right next to me. I did not know I was on the edge of the bed, and that he was clinging to the edge of the bed with the fucking tips of his toes. So I lifted my leg up and shoved him. He just like flew off the fucking bed.
Amazing.
Oh man.
Ugh.
Well, here's like his claws on the laminate flooring, and I was like, I sat up and I was like, what are you doing?
Oh my god.
Like it's his fault.
Honestly,
Oh.
I can guarantee Tucker's never forgiven me for that one time I fucking like flat palmed him on the bed. It's like,
Yeah, because you smacked the shit out of him.
'cause ever since that day, he has never slept at my side again within arm's reach. It's always at my legs in the safe zone. Oh shit. But yeah, so back on the whole stuff though, like, like our job, yeah. Fred B's job is like they fucking would leave the dogs in their shit, like caked in there for like hours or whatever. or overnight. I'm certain they've said
The way
too.
that they talk about them, it just fucks me up. I'm like, why are you working with them if you don't want to care for them?
Right, you know, it's like...
Why are you working with them if you don't even understand them?
Just go work at like a cat cafe or something, I don't know.
You're like, fuck me, go and sell yourself on the street. Don't fucking make
Oh
this
my
stuff.
god.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right.
Oh, I have to walk all these dogs today. Oh my god, isn't that like what you get paid for?
Yeah, part of the job, you know, of a dog kennel tech.
Like, I feel like it's different when people that don't work with animals complain about, like, if Emsie's like, oh, this person's being really shit at their job today, you're like, yeah, fuck that person.
Yeah, right.
And I really don't want to do all this paperwork today. Yeah, fuck paperwork. I really don't want to take this dog out of a kennel that it's been in for 12 hours and care for it today.
Yeah, right. You know, at that point, you got no right to complain because you chose that job, you know.
Yeah, I'd be like, I think you need a new job because
Right.
Well, yeah,
If
I'm not dealing with a living,
cared for like that.
breathing being.
Right. You know.
I just have paper that I don't want to deal with,
I mean-
people that are being shitty.
Yeah, like in part you're dealing with living, breathing beings, but also they're the kind that suck. So like you have the right to complain
Yeah.
still.
Yeah, they're humans that can defend themselves.
Exactly. They can take care of themselves, so they don't need to be, you know, we don't need to be understanding with them. No, just kidding.
No.
We should be understanding, but you know, again. Jokes
I'm
aside.
not.
Yeah, right.
No, we don't
Does it
need to
count
be.
as animal cruelty when I cuss out the cat girl at work.
Oh no.
But like,
Yeah.
I just one to circle all the way back.
Yeah.
The animals probably should not be there.
Yeah.
They
not
can't
as
take
many
care of
should
them. They
have.
can't afford them.
Like, I would literally, like, all I would say they should have is just, like, one fucking Jack Russell Terrier to get rid of the fucking rats. Those super
Nah, at this
rats.
point
Yeah.
they need like a jog terrier.
Yeah, right. For real, though. At this point, they need a fucking huge dog, because those rats probably would eat the terrier, let's be real.
Let's get a couple of lurchers in there.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, just get like a fucking, you know, get a bull herder there.
Mm.
They'll have the grit.
Yeah,
to handle
bull
it.
anything.
Yeah, right. Just get a straight up pit bull.
He'll take
But
care
then
of the
you would
rat
have to-
problem and the cat problem, so it's fine.
Right.
And the cat problem.
Right.
Jesus.
Yeah. Like, hey guys, I know the perfect game bred pit, you know, like pit breeder for you guys.
Oh my
Well, the
God.
rat's gone. It'll only cost you like one cat a month, but
And
Low,
then
low price of one cat a month.
right. You might have to move on to
And
toddlers
then-
after that, but you know.
shut up. After getting rid of all the animals,
Right.
they could probably start to save what little money they can generate
Right.
and put it into the house.
Right.
But I
It's
mean,
like-
like,
no,
if
they're
they
not
got rid of
gonna
all the
listen.
animals, that's an extra like what, $200-300 a month between them,
Easy.
I think so.
Easy.
Yeah, like,
without
something like that.
like you know, without vet appointments and whatever. I'm talking just
Right.
like food for rats, cats, whatever else they fucking have in there.
Yeah, it's like
Easily.
Even then, it's like I know like technically benefits from having Diana as the service dog, but it's like also she doesn't because like, you know, okay, hold
If
on.
your service dog needs a service dog, it's not a fucking service dog.
You know, yeah, friend A
There's not a
benefits,
conversation that I should have to have.
right? Because like I know friend A, you know, benefits from having the service dog, but at the same time, it's like that's also not really that good because that service dog is fucking like out off its ass anxious, like.
The service dog needs a service dog.
Yeah, right. It's like this whole thing of like, you know, oh well, you know, they get anxious from being separated because you know they want to be beside me. It's like that's the thing. A real good service dog has a good off switch and can be independent as necessary. They shouldn't be
One of my
freaking
friends
the fuck
said
out
point.
eating
goes
your
on
entire
vacation.
bed.
Like the whole point of a service dog is it's a job, but they aren't supposed to be on
Yeah, they're supposed
their
to be
job
level enough.
24/7.
Yeah, they're supposed to be level enough to relax when not needed. Not, you know, eat an entire corner of the bed with the moment you leave for 5 minutes.
Right, like they shouldn't have to follow you to the bathroom
Right?
in your own house
Yeah.
unless you physically need them.
Right.
And you don't physically need them.
Pretty much.
It
No,
boggles.
Just have a friend B be the service dog.
I mean, that's what they're essentially doing.
Yeah, right. Basically. Emotional and physical needs for that good old inhaler.
Imagine having an asthma attack and you're fucking dog.
Both of them have asthma, though.
Breathe.
Right.
Picks up the like pump between her paws.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Oh my god.
She has an ESA that's not even.
Yeah, no.
Right.
I had no idea she called it a service dog.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
It's for
I'm not gonna lie.
It wasn't-
I thought
wasn't
that
that like a
one died
gift?
months ago.
Yeah, she
Or
got
a
that dog-
donation?
yeah, they got that dog free from some random friends who had only partially trained it, and the dog
Yeah.
is like again like fucking batshit insane when it comes to the anxiety, like way too over the top. Not only that, here's the thing too, is friend A spends all his time gaming and stuff instead of actively going out with that dog and re-socializing from the bottom up.
I don't think they actively trained them at all either.
Or
No.
walk them.
They literally just got the dog and then haven't trained or like exercised them properly ever since. It's like I know that they go, oh well, let them out in the yard to run. It's like that's the thing. That's far different from proper exercise.
Mm-hmm.
Because like the physical side of it can only do so much. Take the dog for an actual walk to get mental stimulation too. To be able to sniff and explore and just see the world, Of course, wouldn't be surprised that dog had like a sudden panic attack, backed out of its harness, and then ran for it and got run over by a semi.
Probably save it some
He like
anxiety.
runs from the semi and runs into a wood chipper.
Right. So anxious.
Somehow,
because
some way.
The semi's scared it so bad it just like jumps into a wood chipper to hide.
Mm-hmm.
I just...
Yeah, there's just
It
so many
boggles
issues
my
going
mind.
on. It's like, and it's like,
It's always something.
right? It's always something. Even with the animals, like there's nothing that seems to be going right with the animals either anymore too.
Lily's always upset. OJ's sneaking out of the house.
Right.
Right, these cats are so distressed. They piss and shit everywhere. I'm just.
Right. It's like how? It's like, god damn.
You're at a point where your animals are showing basic signs of giving up on life.
Yeah. Right. Like you have a
Your
dying
house
dog, an
is going
anxious
to
as
give up
hell
on life.
quote unquote service dog. The house is like basically ready to crumble in on itself. The cats are barely functional.
So yeah. All of this to say,
Yeah, like I think the most level animals of that entire household are the fucking rats that friend B brought with her.
probably.
uh,
Probably.
yep.
Because they put that much work into them.
Oh, and you want to know the kicker too is like the fact that the one roommate who isn't actively trying to get a job again, the one who went through that depression, wants
Yep.
to keep the cat that doesn't get along with all the rest of the cats except for one of the cats.
I
Why?
thought he was allergic to cats. Or is
No,
it
no,
the
that's,
other
that's
one?
the other one. That's the,
Okay.
the one who pays is allergic to the cats, but the one who's like just frank. I'm gonna be frank, slacking off now. The one who's
Yeah.
slacking off, the slacker, roommate, he wants
Yeah.
to apparently keep one of the cats that he doesn't even have the money to pay for anymore.
Oh, good.
Yep,
Great. Because that's going to work out swimmingly.
yep.
Imagine being the only person that pays for stuff in a house and they force you to live in a house full of fucking things that you're allergic to.
Right.
He's gonna move out and they'll be like, oh my god, I didn't see this coming.
Yep. Well, I mean, according to friend A, then apparently they can't move elsewhere. It's like, I feel like they can. They're just not gonna try hard enough. Because
No,
there's some
they're
weird
not-
codependency between the two of you.
Mm-hmm.
That he's probably renting for cheaper there,
Yeah, he'll
even
get
when he's
anywhere
paying
else,
more.
yeah. Like let's be real. I'm gonna be real. That's probably the only reason he actually stays. It's not because he can't go anywhere. He doesn't want to go anywhere.
Oh, yeah.
Like and again, I'm saying this without any proof whatsoever. So obviously, this isn't in any way factual. But like I'm just gonna be frank. I'm gonna just think the worst of it because that's kind of all I've been pushed to do at this point about their situation. With this
Well,
whole
that's all we've
household.
seen.
Yeah, that's all we've seen is like the worst of everything. So it's like.
It's just, I can't anymore.
Yeah.
My brain is just done.
Yeah, like
And if we do happen to get to this point where we post this or whatever, and then
Oh, trust me.
they
This
decide
is
to
going
make it
up.
the one time where they listen to the podcast or whatever.
Yeah, right.
If you listen to this, I want you to know we've been thinking about this for about 6 to 9 months now.
Right.
We just haven't fucking said anything, but you've pushed us to the point where we have to get together in a fucking voice call and
Right,
record it like a
just-
fucking therapy session.
Right.
'Cause you won't let us help you, and you won't help your fucking self. So if you feel bad about it, good, go cry in a corner. Maybe you can catch it in a bucket and use it to take a shower with later.
Oh,
Tidy.
my
The
God.
joint therapy session.
Right. Like it just like listen, guys, it's genuinely tiring. You know, like if you hear this and decide to finally watch this or watch the podcast, like you need to do something about it. It's time to
We
stop
can't ask
slacking.
you to.
Right? We've tried to help you however we could, and we get fucking turned on for it. So it's like, you know, what now? What more is there we can do? There's nothing we can do. It's all up to you, and we're just gonna watch from the sidelines. And I'll be honest, if things fucking burn, you know, crash and burn, I'm gonna be the one who says I told you so.
I probably won't
I'll be
say
asking for my
anything.
money back.
You know you ain't getting anything.
I'm taking that phone.
Right.
Okay, you can have it.
Yeah, just condemn the phone.
You can have the phone.
Even shit like that pissed me off, bro. I didn't even fucking remember the phone until Tick said something, and I was like, the phone?
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
mad as fuck. I started talking to Camille about it straight away. I had no idea what I'm saying half the time, but he's like, yeah, get him, babe.
Yeah, right.
He's like, I'm
okay.
mad as fuck for you. I'm like, yeah,
Oh shit, man.
love this support.
Ain't that the
We
truth?
love a supportive man.
We do.
We love actual like level supportive people, you know. Just saying. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge.
Yeah. I just, I feel like it is becoming a rarity to have. I was talking to somebody else about this the other day. That
Okay.
these days, especially with like younger people, I feel,
Yeah.
which baffles me because I'm pretty sure that friend A and B or whatever are closer to not my age. But anyway,
Yeah.
Monday is my age.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And friend B is actually my age. I'm pretty
but I'm
sure.
just like,
Yep.
like we were talking about the other day, and we were talking about how like these days you can't give criticism to people without prettying it up with like emojis and like exclamation points and question marks, and like you have to pretend that like
You can't just
you're a
be
lot
flat
fluffier
out.
about it. You know,
Right,
you can't
you
just
know?
be like, I can't just be like, hey Tick, I really don't like the way that you spoke to da. I'll have to be like, oh my god, Tick, how are you? Are you okay? Yeah, no, I just really wanted to talk to you. If it's no, like, is it okay time right now? You know?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
yeah.
right.
And then if you say no, I'm just be like, okay, and then go and like, cry and cut myself or whatever.
Yeah, right. like that one dude on aisle one time.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
And then like when
I
they
will
turn around and they
say-
look at you, they're like, oh, it's completely allowed because you shouldn't just, criticize people. It's like, yeah, I don't just criticize people. But if
Right.
you act a fucking idiot in front of me
Right,
more than 3
I'm gonna
times, I'm
say
probably
something.
coming for you.
Right.
I will say, you can say things to me. I might react poorly in the moment, so if
Yeah.
if I say something shitty in the moment, give me like 5 minutes to an hour.
Right. like,
Somewhere
yeah,
in
yeah,
there,
we
I'm gonna
should-
calm down.
I wish you'd push your parents down the stairs. How's that?
I mean, that's
Good-
actually
good
valid,
thieves.
though.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you're-
Saw a
you're-
TikTok the other day of this woman being like, oh, a set of stairs sure would be a shame if I fell. And I was going to send it to Jeeves, but I was like, nah, it's too soon.
that'd be pretty on brand, though.
Jesus. Yep.
Speaking of, my mom actually texted me in the middle of it to say that she loved me, which was nice.
Ah.
I'll take that.
Push her anyway.
No, fuck you.
Or really put some force into it too.
I'd rather not.
Apologize. Bro, every time she says I love you, just remember she dates Ron. Voluntarily.
Yeah. Technically, she's married to him.
Yeah,
Even
right.
worse.
Yeah, they're married. Yeah.
Even worse.
So just remind yourself that.
I don't have to agree with her choices. But she did give birth to me, so I'll give her that small appreciation.
Thanks for creating me, bitch.
Yeah, right.
Thanks for shitting me
So
out.
you could fucking mentally abuse me for the most of my life.
It's
Peace out,
fine.
bitch. Love you. I love you, bitch. Ain't gonna never stop loving you, bitch.
I woke up in a new Bugatti.
Oh my god. Anyway.
Oh shit.
Tit coming out the cooch at 900 miles an hour.
Right.
I woke up in a instantly gets another
What?
pet parent.
Tig was thrown in a boat and sent down the river like, I don't want
she
you.
said you're fresh off the boat, bro.
Yeah, right. Kinda was. Like, I got fucking, like, sent to that, like, human shelter fast.
And me, I didn't want to leave. I got yanked out. So like between the two of us,
Yeah, right. Dude, they probably, like, fucking, like, rolled, like, like, they put me right in the fucking, hospital cradle or whatever fuck they have over in Vietnam and, like, rolled me right to the human shelter.
amazing.
They didn't even do
Perfect.
anything. Just rolled me right there, like, here, delivery.
And see, I can say that because I know he doesn't care.
Right? But yeah, it's like, see, like with Emsie, it's like, yeah, you sometimes can take a boat, or you might take it the wrong way at first, but you at least listen. I mean, hell, remember that time I
Right.
had to like kind of tell you off almost,
Oh
I was
yeah,
like, listen, I'm, like I was like, I told you too. I was like, listen, I'm kind of tired of this, so this is how I feel. This is why I think that, and I explained it to you though too, which is the big thing, because I think that
Yeah.
makes all the difference, obviously.
yeah.
As
So,
I
like-
explained to you why I felt the way I did and how it's been affecting me, and you at least then you realize, oh yeah, good point, then you listened and we discussed it
Right.
properly.
Right. And like, there are people don't always take criticism well in the moment, so you do have to sometimes let them
right
process it.
Yeah, because like what matters most is what they do with it after the situation and how they can come back to address it than it does how they
Right.
take in the situation sometimes. If they
Right.
can take it well in the situation, great. If not, then it's really dependent on how they handle it after the fact and after they've had time to process it.
And if they don't address it ever again, that's an issue.
Right, like friend A.
Right. Like, you
Like,
need to
apparently
at
just
least
had
address it.
Yeah, apparently had enough of an issue with me to talk about it behind my fucking back with a different person, yet can't come and address it to me, and talk maturely, despite knowing I'm open to talking, and that I have literally had conversations with them about about the openness to talk about issues.
Right.
Yep.
So yeah.
Yeah, all in all, it's just like a situation where, yeah, we've definitely gotten so fed up with it, we just decided to fucking do this, and we're like, hell with it.
Pretty much.
Right?
So this has been our rant.
Yep.
I hope you
It's been a long time fucking coming, and we've all been doing a really good job at keeping it internalized, but we're really fucking tired of
Yeah,
it
right.
now.
It's just like been one little like context after another that's driven us to this point, and now we're just really tired of it. And like again, if y'all see it, if you guys see it, you know who you are. Then please, just like we
For the
we
love
want
of
to
God,
see you
bitch, fix
improve.
yourself.
Right, we want to see you improve. We want to see you succeed. But what you're doing right now, you're bringing your own path to destruction on yourselves, and we don't like that.
Also,
The problem-
at this
Yes.
point, I need you to sit back. If you do listen to this and think, oh, that's so mean, I need you to sit back and think about, do you think it's fair for us to pour all the time, energy, and money into you that we did for you to fucking sit there in your house made of wet playing cards, your fucking rat shit covered floors?
Yeah, and cat.
Do
and
you
dog.
think that's fair? Like, I'm not
Yeah.
saying that, like, nobody helps their friends so that they can get something out of it, but if
we're
I
not
help you, you
saying
turn around and
have to
throw it in
owe
my
us,
face.
But yeah, it kind of hurts, honestly, to be quite.
It
frank.
hurts,
It's
and
like-
it makes me want to headbutt you, and it makes me want to verbally violate you. And given that both
I-
of you have
Right.
the constitution of a blade of grass, I think I could do it pretty easily.
Yeah, it's
Very
like,
easily.
jeez, for
I
real,
don't
dude.
want anything back. I just want to acknowledge that we did something.
We tried our best for
And-
you, and then it kind of sucks.
and
that you
two-
effectively stabbed us in the back over it.
And
Mhm.
two, I want to see you actually do shit for yourselves
Right.
because it doesn't seem like you're doing anything
Yeah.
for
It's
yourselves.
like, we can no longer help you, so we need you to help yourselves. Otherwise, you're just going to destroy your own lives, and we don't want to see that happen. That's why it's so frustrating.
And if you happen to hear this and decide to take the complete opposite route, where you continue to believe that you're both angels that have done nothing wrong in your entire lives,
Go see the Crimea River.
please
jumping
feel
around.
please feel free to never talk to me again. Because I swear to God,
Dead
any
ass.
conversation that we have is going to be fucking horrible for you. Not
Yep.
me. I'll be having a good time, but you.
Yeah, right. I will join in on that shit and everything.
Like, both of you leave the server tonight. Fucking one of you just to come in here and
I
peek.
know
Oh,
this-
God.
I love how telling her fucking threatening them hardcore, but like but again, it's like we gave them warning, if they take it then the wrong way, which
I hate it, bro. You can't be treating me like I'm a fucking dumbass just because I'm here, like, trying to help you, and you're like, oh, What a lovely bank account. Let me keep asking you for money for fucking takeout and lunch and dog food and da-da-da. Fuck you. Go make your
Yeah.
money.
Especially freaking friend me, though, with the, like, always begging every now and again.
Bro, I still remember that one fucking conversation where I was like, you know, brought into knowledge of how much money she actually owes people. That shit made me feel sick.
Right,
Oh.
that one.
Were you here for that,
Yikes.
Tick? I didn't think you
He was
were.
here for it. He came in at the end of it.
Oh,
Yeah, I was like
came in
right
at the end.
yeah, I was right at the ass ends. That's why I felt like I wasn't there, because I technically wasn't.
Okay.
Like
But I came
every
in
single
just on
one of
time.
us.
Yeah.
Yep.
That was a
I was like,
thing.
oh, you know, maybe you guys are just being dramatic. And then it was not even a fucking day later, I got a message like, oh, can you help me buy takeout?
Yep.
And like, you know, me being me, hate to see my friends be hungry. I'm now thinking that actually she probably had full access to like a freezer full of food and just couldn't be bothered to cook.
Right.
Given recent developments, I don't think that's too much of a stretch to
Right,
guess.
the recent thing I've shared, it's like, oh man, you know, it's like such a funny thing because, like I said, the whole humbled thing. It's like I'm the complete opposite. Where like I hate having to accept help if you know, it comes down to it. I'll still be open to it. But I'll be like, I hate this.
Oh,
This
you
is my
have-
swamp.
he has been forced to accept help from me,
Yeah.
and it's been very funny because it's just like, no, you're taking it and get over it.
Yeah. Right.
Bro, I fucking hate it too. Like, I've done it because it's been like, you know, if I don't do it, my dog's not getting fed.
Right.
Or
You know,
if
it's
I
one of
don't
those
do it,
things
my
where it's
walk
like,
goes off.
yeah, you got to worry more about your animals than, you know, your own pride. But you know, it's still like fucking.
I was fucking saying this to someone else today, but it was about a completely
Yeah.
different subject. Where I was
Okay.
like, if your pride matters more to you than your animals, you don't need to have animals.
Oh, dead ass.
But we weren't even fucking talking about people like this. We were talking about
Yeah.
people that are keeping, you know, like their working dogs out in the yards over winter, but they refuse
yeah.
to ask for help on how to feed them up properly.
Yep.
And then the dogs look like shit, and then they start, you know, getting really sick and da-da-da.
Right.
But their
Yeah.
pride
Oh,
matters
yeah.
so much that they won't ask for help.
Right. It's like that's you know, that's like a whole different conversation we can honestly have after this. Though, no, I think for now we've more or less gotten everything all situated. So that will be the end of this lovely
Therapy's
bonus
over.
episode. Yeah,
Thank you for
this
coming.
lovely therapy session of Not With That Attitude podcast is now over. Thank you all for coming and goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.